And good evening, good afternoon, good morning, everybody, whatever time of day it is when you guys are watching. Some weird things are happening right now in the world, and nobody can deny that. Weird things are happening. Now, I'm going to be talking about some weird stuff today. And the weird stuff that I'm talking about, it's not speculation. It's not analysis, and it's not opinion. I'm going to be sharing with you guys videos from US members of Congress, investigators, and ex-NASA astronauts. And what I'm going to try and put together for you guys is we are being told by multiple sources, right, that there is an alien invasion imminent, right? That's the first video I'm going to share with you guys. And then I'm going to share with you guys another video that, you know, this NASA astronaut, he's claiming that in a separate video, he's claiming that aliens are demons. So if you put those two things together, we literally have a demon invasion imminent, right? Tell me I'm wrong, guys. Tell me I'm wrong. I don't know if people are putting those two things together, but if aliens are demons and demonic forces, and look, guys, I struggle with all this. I do. I struggle with all this and the legitimacy of this, right? But if aliens are demonic forces, then that is synonymous to demonic forces invasion imminent. And then I'm going to come on to something else, which is, again, these things are so wild for me to... I'm not saying they're not real. I'm not saying they're fake. I'm not saying it's fake news. All I'm saying is I struggle with digesting this, right? So UFOs, aliens, UAPs, yes, I absolutely think that there is intelligent life in the universe somewhere. Then when we start to go down alien, aliens are demons and they're on Earth and they're breeding with humans and there's like a hybrid alien program, all this stuff, guys, it's just a little bit difficult for me to digest. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to present the evidence to you guys. I've got some videos to share. In fact, we'll start with a video, actually. We'll start with a video. I'll talk about the video. Then we'll come on to the other stuff. And let me know what you guys think. So let me find this video first. Is that it? No. Is that it? No. Oh, God, where is it? I did have the video. Oh, I think I may have. Oh, no, there we are. We've got it. Right. Okay, we've got it right. So I'll start with this video to share with you guys. Now, this is from a guy called Stephen, or is it? I think it's Stephen Greer or David Greer. So this guy here, he is a UFO investigator. I don't know how much credibility I give this guy. But let's see what he's got to say.
The big one would be this, what Werner von Braun warned about on his deathbed. He said, he said, we are going to hoax an alien attack on the planet. It's all a lie, but it will trick and fool almost everyone.
Okay, so just quickly, only to play devil's advocate, right? Only to play devil's advocate. But you guys have seen the movie. Is it 3 Solid Problems? I think it's called. There's this. It was like a little mini series on Netflix. I think it's called 3 Solid Problems. And the premise of that movie is there's aliens on their way to Earth to do an invasion. But the aliens know they're so far away, their techno signature is going to let the people on Earth know that they're coming. And by the time they get here, Earth's technology will have exceeded theirs. So what they do is, because they can communicate, they turn people on Earth to work for them. Now, I'm not saying these people have been turned, but I know how subversion works. So what better way, and I'm just playing devil's advocate here, guys, what better way to subvert a planet, to make a planet not believe that aliens are coming, than spread fake news before you get there that this alien invasion is going to be fake. You see where I'm going with that, guys? I don't know what's real. I don't know what's real. What I do know is there's a flip side. There's 2 sides to every story. And nobody's exploring the fact that all these whistleblowers, all these UFO analysts, what if, just throw it out there as a wild theory, what if all these ufologists and all these people who claim to see, flashing lights in the sky and it's aliens, and they're saying that the government's going to pretend an alien invasion is on its way and, it's going to be bad and it's going to be fake. What if they're actually the ones lying? Did anybody ever stop to think of that?
So we're trying to expose that. But see, if this festers much longer with that group that have the technologies I'm talking about, in a minute, they could stage this and it would fool.
Okay, what group? Who is he talking about? What group are we talking about here? And this is what melts my noggin with all these so-called UFO hornblowers or whistleblowers or whatever. The group, we can't mention their names. I'm like, dude, you're a whistleblower, right? Blow your whistle. I want to see aliens wheeled out, right, on on one of those medical trolley things, and I want somebody like an autopsy man, an autopsician, I don't even know if that's the word, to say, yes, this is definitely not human. That's what I want, right? I don't want flashing lights, and I heard somebody who was at direct exposure, but we can't. I don't want that anymore, guys. I'm sick of it.
Well, it had. I mean, look at what they've been doing for decades, fooling everyone. Everyone's saying, oh, those are alien events. And, our military guys chasing these objects thinks those are military, right? Well, they're not. I mean, or alien. They're military or covert aerospace programs. So the ability to hoax and attack on our planet is real.
So I've actually got first-hand experience of this. When I was in the military, I was based on a camp. For I think maybe 4 years. I was on this camp. And in the middle of this camp, there was a huge hangar. There was an airfield. It's shut down now. I can talk about it. There was two camps. There was the two camps, basically, totally separate. In the middle of these two camps, there was an RAF camp and an army camp. In the middle, there was a huge runway, right? Huge runway that led straight out onto the sea. And right in the middle of these two camps, there was a huge hangar called, and all it said on it, on the side of it, was DARA, D-A-R-A. And everybody knew that if you met anyone and they showed you a DARA ID, you were literally told, you don't ask them any more questions, you don't search them, you don't ask anything, you just let them go about their business. That was what you was told, right? So now contextualize this. You've got this huge military complex, two military units, RAF and Army, guarding it, right? So it's got an armed guard around the perimeter, tons of manpower, and then on the inside of this building, and then on the inside, they had their own armed security. Don't know who they were. But there was a few instances when strange craft used to land at that hangar on the runway, and it was just experimental aircraft. And that's what it was. They were, they were using, experiment with different propulsion systems or whatever. And these things will look alien, right?
And
what would be the goal in them doing that, staging a really false alien attack on the entire world? What would they accomplish?
They want to unite the world around a military junta.
Now, again, playing devil's advocate, right? If you were aliens, and you were on your way and you wanted to come and probe everyone with your little, probe stick or whatever, you wouldn't want the world to unite, right? You wouldn't want the world to come together because then, unity is strength.
Totalitarian system. And how do you do that? How do you get one race or one ethnicity or one nation to stop fighting with each other? You create a bigger problem up there and it unites everyone against a common enemy. But in that uniting of the world in war instead of peace, they can then exert all manner of totalitarian controls. That has been a 70-year plan. I have a CIA document from 1953 or 54 stating that they can use the UFO issue to great advantage for its, quote, psychological warfare value. So once they got close and mastered the technology in the mid-50s, and they knew they were close to that in 53, 54, then what has happened is that they've started a long-term program to brainwash the public that there's a threat out there.
Okay. If that, I don't want to be the debunker, guys. I don't want to be the debunker. I'm going to give you guys a monologue in a minute. There's just so many questions. And you know, when I see these people get interviewed, why does nobody ask them difficult questions? Like, why does nobody ask this guy difficult questions? You know, have you got any proof? You know, where's your proof? You know, it seems that these people are just being taken at face value. And people take these people at face value. Where's the evidence of this? Where's the proof?
Now, the question is, will they brainwash President Trump and other people? We're providing the information we have, but there are some devils on these deep state operations around the president, giving him the opposite perspective. So this is getting into like, well, which of these narratives is it going to be the true narrative or the false flag narrative? And when you have someone like the president who's very busy, and you have to do a one-sheeter for him.
Okay, I'm sorry, right? Okay, alien invasion, right? Nobody is too busy to deal with an alien invasion, right? Yeah, Donald, there's an alien invasion coming, mate. Yeah, they're on their way here now. They're going to be here in 2 years. Right. Okay, alien invasion. Yeah, all right. Right. Tell me more next Wednesday. I'm taking the weekend off. Like, there's nothing more important than an alien invasion, right? Call me, if it's true, there's nothing more important than an alien invasion for everyone. Like, every man, woman, and child on Earth, there's nothing more important. So to say that, Donald Trump's too busy to deal with the alien invasion, it just doesn't have credibility to me.
And he's doing a million things a day. It's very easy for people who are in the system he trusts, who are actually foxes in the hen house, who are bad actors, for him to take their advice.
Okay, so that's the video that I saw, and they're saying, in short, there's UFO, that it's going to happen quick, and there's a UFO invasion, and it's going to be fake, and you guys just watch the video. Now, that guy, Stephen Greer, he's one of the world, I guess I don't know if he's one of the world's, but he's certainly a prominent voice in the UFO disclosure movement. And he made that very striking claim, I think it was this week. And he says that rogue elements inside what he calls the deep state are on the brink, right on the brink, guys, of a full-scale fake alien invasion. Now, let's go with the alien invasion, right? Would anybody know the difference? Like, if you live in the United Kingdom, or where, it doesn't even matter, right? Wherever you live, right? Wherever you live in the world, if all the mainstream media in unison said, there's an alien invasion. For example, if you live in the United Kingdom, there's an alien invasion. It landed in Wales, but the people of Wales were too weird. So the aliens went and they landed in London. They said, we're good here. Well, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? So for example, they said aliens have just landed in Scotland, right? And then we saw footage from someone's phone of these alien craft landing. And you had the BBC news anchors saying, we believe this is credible footage. Everybody needs to do this now. Like, you would have to do that because you wouldn't want to take the risk, would you? You wouldn't want to take the risk. You would have to do that because you wouldn't know whether it was true or not. You wouldn't know whether that's AI or not. And that's where we are right now. we don't know, and we can't trust what we see on the TV because we don't know what's AI. Now, according to Mr. Greer, and he's a doctor, but I think he's a medical doctor. Now, according to Dr. Greer, this would involve next level. The full interview is a lot longer. I just showed you a snippet of it. According to that interview, this would involve next level holographic projections, craft that appear to defy gravity, and even engineered biological material designed to look alien. Some dark stuff, guys. Is it some dark stuff? He warns that the technology now exists to create an event so convincing it could fool not just the public, but even senior military officers and world leaders. And in that sentence, he's right. You know, if all the military leaders got brought into a room, and remember, you only need to you don't need to have many people on this gig, right? You don't need that many people on it. You have, you know, your alien craft department, costume department, and I don't know whatever else. You know, so you would only need a few people, and then when these, you know, if it was fake ships or whatever, you know, you wouldn't need that much. Because the military and the media would do their own thing anyway. And once you've got them convinced, they will go about things themselves, right? Now, he puts it simply. The ability to hoax an attack on our planet is real. Now, he argues that this would be the ultimate false flag operation, manufactured panic on a global scale that might push governments and populations to accept radical solutions, greater centralized control, greater increased surveillance, and significant erosion of national sovereignty. I mean, we're pretty much there anyway in the United Kingdom, right? And just, I can't shake this rapid development of artificial intelligence, right? I don't know what's real. I watched the video the other day, and it was, you know, when everybody thought that Benjamin Netanyahu was dead, and there was like videos of, oh, he's got 6 fingers, oh, he's doing this, he's doing that. I do think some of them may have been AI, but I don't think he's, I don't think he's gone to the candy shop. Although I don't know. I watched another video, right, of a guy explaining how AI works. And what he did is he said, look, I'm going to turn this AI on now. And he turned the button and it turned him into Benjamin Netanyahu. And I couldn't tell the difference. Not a chance. There is no way I could tell the difference. You know, and he's saying, look, I've got 5 fingers. And like, that was turning him into Netanyahu in real time. And that was terrible. That was like, I was like, wow, that is insane. So when you think about, the rapid development of artificial intelligence, this idea becomes even more unsettling. Today's AI systems can already generate photorealistic images, video, and entire scenarios. When you combine that with advanced holographics, drone swarms, maybe other classified technology, the question arises, in the heat of the moment, would any one of us, or even our leaders, really be able to tell the difference of what was real or not? Of course, you know, these claims are well within the realm of conspiracy theory. But let's just be honest, how many conspiracy theories in the last 6 years have turned out just to be true, right? So I'm going to say this again. I don't know what's real. I'm just presenting to you guys the evidence that I'm seeing right now. And I genuinely don't know which one it is. I do believe that this year, I've said this quite a few times, that this year, if this year we get told that or presented evidence on www.aliens.com or whatever it is, then I believe that the next thing would be the aliens are coming, right? Scottish Jack is saying, hey, Sean, what do they want? My prep supplies. Oh, right. Okay. Okay. Right. I wasn't going to go down this path. First of all, I don't know. What I will say is, from what I'm seeing, everything relates to the Epstein files, right? So they released the Epstein files in 2025, all right? Everybody knows about adrenochrome now and like eating pizza and stuff. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Eating pizza and adrenochrome and all that. 2026, they release evidence that aliens are real. Okay, 2027, they say aliens are on their way and they're going to be here 13th of April, Friday the 13th of April, 2029. Oh, and they want to harvest our adrenochrome. So that's what if the aliens are coming and if we get told this, that's what I think they're going to be coming for. Right, I've got another video to share with you guys as well. Is it this one? Not that one. Is it this one? Right, okay. So, aliens are demons. So, when we're told that an alien invasion is imminent, right, then people are coming out, ex-NASA astronauts, and saying, no, there's, aliens are not aliens. Aliens are demons. So now do we have a demonic invasion imminent? Let's see what this ex-NASA astronaut has to say.
No, I don't believe in alien life. I believe that God showed me a specific answer to two prayers, that they're demonic.
So now, if aliens are demonic, if aliens are demons, right, and there's an alien invasion coming, does that mean that there's a demonic invasion?
And that they're demonic beings that make an appearance and appear to be real, and they are real. Satan, Bible says, Satan can appear as an angel of light. So they can appear, and so nothing human can make a 90-degree turn at 3,000 miles an hour and survive. And
okay, I'm just struggling with all this. I really am, guys. Let's let the video play.
So they have these, and I think the purpose is to draw you away from the real God and say, look at us, and this is where you ought to be because we are superhuman and we can do it. So that's my feeling. People laugh at me generally, but I'm not going to be. I don't care.
I love you. I love you.
Yeah, God He's answered prayers, my prayers specifically, and so I said.
You see, if I was interviewing this guy, I will be straight on that now. I will be straight on that. If somebody tells me that God's answered a prayer to you specifically, I'd be like, okay, what was that like? How did he answer? How long before he answered? How did you feel afterwards? And I want to go into more about that.
And I get laughed at when people say, well, that's what God told me. So I'm going to say that they're demonic beings, and there's not any extraterrestrial. I mean, not superhuman, but other civilizations out there that are farther away from us. It's a distraction from God. Okay, so in that video there, this the guy there, he's ex-NASA astronaut. I think he was like the 11th or 12th person to go to the moon. Now, the next thing I want to share with you guys, this is a little bit more relevant, okay? This is a little bit more relevant, okay? Because this is from a sitting US senator. So I'll share this with you guys now. I'm just going to share this and I'll come onto the chat.
Sick of it. You're
sorry. This was like 2 or 3 days ago. Claims military is breeding aliens and humans. Honestly, so this was yesterday. Guys, so this was yesterday from if you're in the United Kingdom, the guy on the right in the orange polo nut t-shirt, he's a sitting US senator, right? He's a sitting US senator. Now, these claims are so wild. Like, these claims are so wild, guys. The military is breeding aliens and humans. So if you put all this together, let's play the video and then we'll try and put this all together. But this has all come out in the space of, like, obviously not the last video, but this has all come out relatively quickly.
I don't have the tinfoil hat on just yet, Congressman, but I'm wondering, kind of how you react to that, because you are connected. You're on the UFO subcommittee. I mean, I'm just wondering what you make of that. Have you heard anything like that?
Well, I'm still a member of Congress, so I can't really comment too much on what Matt said. But I will say this.
Wait, seriously? Are you being serious, or is that tongue in cheek?
I'm being 100% serious. Okay. I've been 100% serious. I've been briefed by just about every alphabet agency there is. And I'll just tell you this. If they would release the things that I've seen, you would stay up. You'd be up at night worrying about or thinking about this stuff.
Okay, I'm done. Right? What's real, guys? What's real? Is that guy there being fed false information? I've personally not seen anything that's credible to me, right? And I know I'm being skeptical. I think it's always good to go into these things skeptical. Always go into these things skeptical. But so this is where I am, guys. Okay. If this year information is released, and whether it's true or false, it doesn't matter. Okay. That's my false negative, if that makes sense. So if there's information released this year, or when it gets released, whenever it does, I think it'll be released this year. I do. It has to be, if we're working towards April 2029. It has to be. If the information is released this year, and remember, right now, for the purpose of this, it doesn't matter if this information that gets released is real or not. It doesn't matter. I've taken that. I don't have the ability to be able to tell whether this information is real or false because of artificial intelligence, because of credibility. There's so much deception going on, right? So regardless, this is what I'm saying. If this year, and I think it does have to happen this year, I mean, what we're on, April? If this year we get told that, or information's released on the US website, www.alien.gov, or whatever it's called, I'm going to speculate with a high degree of confidence that next year we are going to be told that aliens are coming. That's what I think. Now, I don't know if this is just a setup to scare people. I don't know what's real. I don't know if the information that this guy's seen is real or not. I mean, he seems credible, but you've always got, you've got to, take a step back and think, right, okay, how do you know the information that you was being presented was real, right?
We just need to disclose it all. I'm sick of it. Well, I was briefed. I'll just tell you this. I was briefed last week on an issue, 2 weeks ago, and it would have set the earth on. This country would have come unglued, I think, if they would have heard all that I heard.
So he's saying that the United States would have come unglued if they'd have heard what he heard. And what better distraction than all of, and what better distraction, what better time to release, to trickle feed this information out while DJT is having his war, right?
They would demand answers, and we need to, but it's never going to get, unfortunately, it just keeps getting covered up, and the people that know are dying or disappearing.
Yeah. So also, do you know what? there's this thing at the moment in the United States, and again, this could be fake. I don't know what's real. This could be part of the bigger plan. We're being told that scientific leaders and are disappearing and becoming unalived. Again, I don't know if that's true, but that's what we're being told.
The case may be.
Wow.
And for the record, I'm not suicidal.
Right. Let me just. Right. There's a word there we can't. Right. Let's go. Right. We'll go.
And I don't take risks. So,
I'm glad you said that. I'm speechless, Congressman.
Well,
We will have you back.
You should be. And
I
I told
am.
the president, release it all. And the problem is the people that are around the president don't know and the president doesn't know the questions to ask.
Yes. That is a big problem. We deal with people who don't know what information to ask. They don't know where to look and what to look for. And this happens. This happens more than you think, right? For example, the example I give you guys, it's an easy example to understand. If you see a man with a rifle and a big scope on a rooftop at at an event in London or whatever, right? The press will say, "Oh my God, there's snipers on the roof," right? And then somebody will ask the government, "Why were there snipers on the roof?" Right? And then the government will ask the military, "Did you have snipers on the roof?" And the military will say, "No, we didn't have snipers on the roof." Now, to be a sniper in the military, it's a very specific thing. You don't say you're a sniper unless you've done the sniper course. I think it's like 12 weeks. So you don't say you're a sniper unless you've done the sniper course, right? However, for people looking, they're seeing a guy on a rooftop with a big rifle and a big scope on it. That could be anything. I could be up there with a bolt action rifle. I've done sharpshooters course. No, he's not a sniper. He's a sharpshooter. You didn't ask the right questions. And this is one of the big problems. And it's unbelievable how low tier the people asking these questions are, right?
A few of us are going to have to get with the president and tell him what he needs to ask and where he needs to look. I mean, we're in meetings and they give addresses and tell locations of items, I'll just say. And the public has a right to know, dadgummit. It's your tax dollars.
Absolutely.
Let's get it out there.
You got my attention, Congressman. I appreciate you being as forthcoming as you have been tonight. And we look forward to having you back. Look, I know Donald Trump wants to disclose something. He hasn't done it yet, but I think he wants to be the president to do that. Tim Burchett, thank you.
Okay, so for those of you guys who don't know, I'll just leave this quick. There were claims yesterday, I think it was yesterday, that the U.S. military is breeding. There's a breeding program where they're breeding aliens and humans. Don't know how credible that is. Now, he was just asked on it then, and what he said was, if you knew what I knew, it would keep you up at night and it would unglue the United States. So whether this is true, whether this is false, I think the same is real. And I do think it's coming, and I do think this will happen. And whether, like I said, whether it's real or false, we're going to be told it's real. So I know that's like a double. What's that film? Labyrinth with David Bowie. They get to this door, and one always tells lies and one always tells the truth, but you don't know which one's which. It's kind of like that scenario. Right, listen, I'm literally just going to jump down, guys. Get some more questions. Ghouls and Goblins is saying, don't look up. Yeah, there's wasps in here, guys. There's wasps in here. I heard a wasp earlier. I heard a wasp earlier on, but it must have gone now. I've got a thing where I'll always try and take down the wasps. Right, listen, guys, if you're on and you guys have not done so already, can you please Can you please hit those buttons? Phil, be honest, Sean, is that hair real? Yes. No. Does Trump know you have such wonderful, amazing hair? I need to have it cut. I do. I need to have it cut. I was looking at it today, and it's just out of control, my hair. Google Enos is saying, these people are lying, all fake. Project Bluebeam is fake. There will be no alien invasion. This supposed deep state would stop all this information from coming out. That's proof it's all fake information. These people are lying, all fake. So isn't that just the premise of it, though? Isn't that just the premise of it? What do aliens drink? I think they drink like adrenochrome. James Brooke is saying demons go into people doing evil things. Drugs over drinking, tarot cards, Ouija boards. Demons take people over. They're saying people wrestle with demons. Kimmy is saying aliens are definitely not demons, Sean. Right, Kimmy, give us more information. Tell us. Mal Quinn is saying, where has all this alien BS come from? Of course there will be life on other planets, just not anywhere near us. Right, Mal Quinn, I feel exactly the same as you, mate. Mal Quinn, I feel exactly the same as you, right? I'm seeing all this stuff just go poof from absolutely nowhere, right? It's just poofing up from nowhere. And all of a sudden, in the space of like, what, a year maybe 18 months, it's gone from no such thing as aliens, it's conspiracy theory, to, yeah, we're going to release all the information, to alien invasion imminent, aliens are demons, and we've got an alien hybrid breeding program. And I'm thinking like, okay, what is actually real now? Because I'm just very skeptical of it all. But I will keep that thesis, guys. I will keep that thesis. If we are told this year that there is evidence gets released, a la carte Epstein files, you know, I'm going to say that I think if that evidence gets released, then the next thing to be told will be that they're coming. Now, I don't know if that's real or not. Ital Irish bro. Hello, Ital Irish bro is saying the Epstein files didn't work, so they will use aliens instead. Right. I actually think he's connected. I think he's connected, guys. I do. I actually think these two things are connected. I really do. I think the Epstein files introduced human harvesting, right? Let's just say that there's some wild stuff on those Epstein files. And look, guys, I've not seen any smoking gun. I've seen emails and I've seen things that are weird. And, you know, there's no doubt in that. There's no doubt some weird stuff was going on, right? But what the Epstein files did for everyone is introduce people to the mainstream, this like human harvesting thing, right? They did. Whether you're eating pizza, like hot dogs, beef jerky, whatever it is. So the next thing to be released is, okay, aliens are real, and they're on Earth right now, and there's people who are collaborating with them, right? And Epstein was one of them. Okay, right, got it. Yeah, aliens are coming and they want to harvest humans. I've said this quite a few times. Can you imagine the difference in, like, whatever your alien disaster movie is? Independence Day is my go-to. But you guys can think of any of them, right? Can you imagine, you know, the movie and, you know, third act of the movie, the revelation, you know, the great revelation in the character arc, you know, the middle of the movie, you get the alien revelation where they're on their way to harvest human souls. But they don't want all of humans. They only want, they only want 3/4 of humans. And they're not bothered which 3/4. That movie takes a totally different dynamic now, doesn't it? Because now, the people that are working with the aliens, they want to hand them over. Andy is saying the facts are, if any civilization could travel to Earth, they would be so beyond us, there would be no way to communicate. There are so many different aspects to this. There are so many different aspects. A few. Okay, so first of all, honestly, I could literally monologue for the next hour about this. I don't believe that's the case. I don't believe that's the case. If another civilization developed without ever having to want for energy and space travel was very easy for them, then they could be at a lesser stage of development as humans, right? They could be at a lesser stage of development as humans. Ghouls and Goblins saying, Sean, I recommend looking at the Phoenix Lights. Yeah, I've seen the Phoenix Lights thing. I think the Phoenix, yeah, Kurt Russell. I think Kurt Russell saw the Phoenix Light. Now the Varginha incident in Brazil, that one's terrifying, guys. That one's terrifying. Because I think it touched people. And it sent them to the candy shop. I communicate with birds all the time. I don't know what I'm saying, but they stopped pooping on my car. Googling us is saying, I find the Montauk project more interesting, Sean. Yeah, so wasn't that the predecessor to MK Ultra? I was a ufologist for decades, and since the 60s to the 90s, people were being visited at night in their room by aliens. What? That's what? The aliens only fled when Jesus Christ was said. That sounds like a rhyme. The aliens fled when Jesus Christ was said. Yeah, Paul's right. Nobody needs to get probed, guys. Nobody needs to get probed. Kurt Russell is a great name. It sure is. Are you called Kurt Russell Clarendon? Silly Gallardi is saying, I'm starting to feel like that all of this Epstein, that was a vile person, and alien thing is a bit like Colosseum entertainment for the masses. Twisted, but that it all had its purpose. Yeah. So again, this is you have to unpack a lot of stuff here. So the Montauk project, I think I'm pronouncing that right. I think it was the predecessor to MK Ultra, right? Now, I don't have any information on this. What I do know is that Operation Paperclip after the Second World War stole all the German scientists. They went various places. And there's a lot of information to say that the Germans were channeling aliens, and the aliens were telling them how to build these spaceships, right? And nobody can deny that German aviation was just it was just leaps and bounds in front of anything else. Leaps and bounds in front of anything else. So you would have that. That would be where that connection. That would be where that connection was. Right, listen, guys. I am going to go now. I'm going to go now. You guys are fantastic. I'll be back on at probing does sound bad. It does, guys. Nobody needs to get probed. I'll be back. I'm going to close this down now, guys. I'll be back on tonight at 8. I just wanted to give you guys an update because there's still a lot of information coming out on this. People are saying the alien invasion's imminent. There's a lot of people that are saying aliens are demons, are demonic forces. And, you know, there's this bombshell that was dropped yesterday that there's some sort of alien, you know, human alien hybrid breeding program. It's all wild. It's all crazy, right? I don't know what to think of it, but I am picking out those. I am picking out what I see come above the weeds, and I'm giving it to you, the information that I see. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to close this down now. I'll be back on later. I'll be back on later at what time are we on? Back on at 8. If you've not done so and you're on, please hit those buttons below, guys. The like, comment, subscribe, bell notification, and I'll be back on at 8. I'll see you later.